the obviously down the stretch, they missed four to get the ball.
Yeah. Well, it's no different than the game we played up there. It's offensive rebounds and turnovers. First half, it was offensive rebounds. We did a better job in the second half. And then the second half, it was just turnovers, 16 turnovers for 25 points. That's hard to, you got to do something really well to overcome that kind of a number. And, it's a tough one when you go up by 3 and you come out of a timeout or a change of play and you give up a 3. I thought that was a bit of a deflating play for us, but it was the same story that we talked about up in Toronto. Keep them off the glass. We didn't do a good job in the first half, and then the second half, the ball they put pressure on us, and we didn't handle it well tonight. So that's something that we have to learn from. And then we got to be emotionally more regulated. Technical fouls and things of that nature are costing us momentum, and we're giving points away when we don't need to. And so that's something that we have to be a lot better at.
So just even focus on the offensive rebound, brought in
Yeah. We needed some juice out there, and we needed some rim protection, and we needed rebounding. And I thought Biz did a really good job guarding Siakam, but he gave us rim protection and just the bodies, big bodies in the paint so that we could, have a chance to board. I thought that they were pushing us under the basket in the first half. We didn't have a hit first mentality in the first half. We were reacting to them getting the ball, and then we start playing defense again. When we forced them to miss, we didn't do a good job of completing the defensive possession with the rebound.
On the other side, Gary getting loose like he did, was that just a matter of
just a lack of awareness? He got going, and there were times where we just stared at him, or we didn't get to his feet, and he had some tough shots. The last one was just a tough shot off of a double screen, but I didn't think that all of us, we didn't respect him the way that he needed to be respected after he hit as many shots as he did in the first half.
From the blitzing late, how you guys respond to the different defensive looks, you talk about trying to.
Yeah, it was okay. I thought we scored. I didn't think that we necessarily responded well. I just thought we scored. Sometimes you can score and it doesn't really, look that organized. You know what I'm saying? I have to look at the film to give that a better assessment. I thought when Book got blitzed, we didn't have the floor spaced enough to, give proper outlets and give them credit. I mean, they blitzed and they covered up the first and second pass, and they were forcing you to throw it across the court. And that was something that we've been in before. We just didn't execute it well enough tonight in that environment.
So today, at the end there, usually you guys slow it down and execute. You feel like they sped you guys up, or was that just on you guys?
Both. I mean, they applied pressure. They were forcing Cam away from the screen. Tonight, we were trying to run him to his left hand, and they were forcing him to his right hand. And sometimes that can speed you up if there's not a screen over there. But then there were times where they just went and trapped Book. They didn't even blitz. They just brought an extra defender. We didn't execute that well. I mean, the Lakers did that to us in the series last year, and we just picked it apart. Tonight, we didn't as well as we know we can. Give them credit. They played the same way that they played up there. They just hit way more shots. I mean, up there, they scored 95 points. Tonight they had 117. They had one guy that got it going, and he didn't play up there. So it's one of those games where we certainly felt like we could have won, but with the technical fouls, offensive rebounds, and the turnovers, you're giving too many points away.
Monty, when it came to the trapping on Devin in the last couple of minutes, he was waiting a bit just to make the right pass.
Yeah.
Something where you're moving faster, or are you okay with him just making sure?
No, he's trying. Well, there's times where you can beat the big in a blitz situation, but then he's trying to drag two guys away, and you have to space the floor properly and get a big guy in the middle so he can facilitate, maybe swing it to the other side. I got to look at the film because it happened so fast in real time. I'm not quite sure if they took our bigs away in the pocket.
I was just going to ask, how helpful can watching the film back on a game like this be for, you talked a lot about guys like Campaign being in situations
Yeah.
that not normally be in. For a game like this, how helpful is this one in particular?
It is going to be a good teaching film for him for sure. He played 37 tonight. That's more than he's, maybe ever played. And to have when you get tired, to have the poise and understand what you're supposed to be doing is something that, he can grow from, especially in closing moments. So I think it's going to be good for him and for us. And until we get Chris back, we have to execute. And that doesn't fall on Cam solely, but I think it's going to be a good growth moment for him and for us, because we have to be able to execute when teams try to take Book out or if they're sending him away from the screen. And we've been in that before. We just didn't do it as well as we would like to tonight.
When you first got Biombo in December, did you realize quickly that he was the type of guy who could make an impact like this when he was called upon?
Yeah, I mean, you didn't really know until we went on that road trip and you saw the impact that he had. I think it was the Charlotte game for me where it was offense, defense, the pressure he put on the rim, the savvy that he had. I mean, even tonight he was guarding, off the dribble. That's something that can be really hard for fives. So I think, we'd seen him play enough, but we didn't know how he was going to play with us. And I thought that road trip was the trip where I was like, wow, he's going to help us. And then we went to New Orleans and he had a big game there as well. So I just, feel bad at times when I can't get him in. It's hard to play three bigs. Tonight we needed it because they were so doggone big in the paint, and he really helped us get back in the game.
Monty spoke highly of Siakam in the past. 10 assists right tonight. How did you see him control pace, but then also to your point how Bismack came in and tried to push him a little bit?
Man, he's such a good finisher in the paint. There were times where you thought you had him cut off, and then he'd spin move, and he's so long he'd just shoot a floater or lay it up. He's one of those guys I talked about who's won a championship. He's been in big moments. He's an all-star, so we didn't expect him to be less than that. But I thought Biz did a really good job of forcing him away from the basket, really making it tough on him. And, if not for Trent hitting that one big three and then we turned it over, we probably walk out of here with a win. So I thought Biz did a really good job on it.
Got the record now.
Did he really?
Thoughts on that?
Holy smoke. That's pretty cool. I can't believe that. I mean, I can because it happened, but that's really cool. I'm so happy for him. I know he's that's just really cool, man, for him to be the all-time winningest coach, and a blessing for me to have played for him and been under him for so many years. I'm just so happy for him. And I'm happy that he's getting it out of the way, because I know he's probably doesn't want to talk about it at all, but what an accomplishment. I mean, you can't hang around that long with one organization and not be really, really good at what you do. So I'm really happy for him and Jill and their family.
Monty, you mentioned the first half is reacting at first, and the second half with some fouls called, a lot of questionable, including the challenge. What some of the fouls that were basically fighting back versus frustration?
Well, the referees are going to make mistakes. I'm not going to sit up here and get a fine and complain about what I saw tonight. But we have to have mental poise, mental stamina to play through it. There's just going to be games like that. There's going to be playoff games like that where the fouls don't go your way. We're giving away too many points. And that's something that we should be better at this point. There was calls that I did not agree with. I thought the challenge I thought that was going to be a successful challenge. I mean, I can sit here and whine about it all night. It's not going to change anything. You know, we still had a chance to win the game despite all of that, but we can't dig ourselves a hole by getting caught up with disagreements with the referees.
Hey, Monty, does teams like Toronto and Milwaukee pose different problems for you guys than teams in the Western?
Maybe. I mean, they're bigger, longer teams. I mean, when you have guys like Siakam and Giannis who can put the ball down like that and hit mid-range shots and get to the basket, we've beaten those teams. I don't think they pose any more problems than other teams in different ways, but they do have those long athletes that give everybody trouble.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.